Good evening, welcome back to Gooner Fanzine TV. Dan, the man Mountain, and myself have just come from Mikel Arteta's press conference after Arsenal beat Leeds United 1-0 in the third round of the FA Cup to progress to Bournemouth away in the fourth round. Very, very interesting press conference with Arteta as ever. I'll just start, obviously we're both there, so I'll just start by asking you a few questions. We'll get your take first, and then maybe I'll come back with a few things as well. But what was your take on Arteta tonight then, Dan?
Thoroughly enjoyable again. I've enjoyed all his press conferences. He's honest and open about his assessment of Arsenal, and there's always a bit of humour thrown in. There was quite a funny moment, which I'm sure we'll come on to.
Yeah.
But even just the way he spoke about Leeds, he described them as a nightmare to play and said it was like a bad trip to the dentist.
Yeah.
He's got everything that I want from someone I just want to sit and listen to. But he's the kind of person, how people do who would you have to your celebrity dinner party? He'd be one of the people.
Would he? Who else would be on there?
I find him really interesting. I'd have Herbert Chapman in there.
Oh, good.
I'd have Layth there as well.
Clean up the dishes, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. No, but he is someone that I just find really interesting, and especially in the way he's so open and honest about his players and about the way they played. So, yeah, another good press conference.
Yeah. What I found was interesting was he wasn't holding back, because obviously that first 45 minutes, certainly the first 35 minutes, was very disappointing in terms of Arsenal. And he was quite honest and open about what he said, wasn't he?
Yeah, he said it wasn't good enough, and he's right. And he said he went in half-time and he shouted at the players, and they obviously responded, which was really good to see. It's nice to see that they're buying into what he wants and what he's saying. So it is a positive. Again, yeah, as you say, the first half wasn't good enough. He understands that and he addressed that, which is really good. So, yeah, a good ending to a pretty poor evening at the start, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we did chat at half-time, and I've seen your tweets as well. We've had a bit of a talk afterwards. I didn't think Arsenal played that badly. Obviously, their performance wasn't very good in the first half, but I think that was more to do with an exceptional Leeds side who were lively, who were buzzing, who were effervescent. They put Arsenal on the back foot the whole game, for the whole 45 minutes, I should say. I don't think it was a question of Arsenal playing badly. I just don't think they were ready for Leeds' sort of energy and high tempo, basically.
Yeah, but that's what Arsenal did against Man United and against Chelsea. They played like Leeds did, They were quick. They showed urgency, tempo, pressed well. Didn't do it enough tonight for me. They were better in the second half, as you say, but I was just expecting a little bit more from what I've seen. Obviously, you've got to have a bit of patience with Arteta. So he said that a lot, didn't he, about it being a learning process for both himself and the team. There's still obviously a long way to go. It's important not to get carried away. Yeah, you are right. Leeds were really good, and I think if they do get promoted, obviously top of the Championship at the moment, they'll be more than suited to the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant, to be fair.
Absolutely, yeah. And I do think that first half was almost cancelled out. The first half by Arsenal was cancelled out by a far more gritty, a far more effective, a far more lively second half. And Arteta said that as well, didn't he? He basically said, my players can suffer if they want to play like they did in the first half, or they can enjoy the way they did in the second half, basically.
Well, it's interesting that he mentioned suffer again, because he said it on Wednesday after the Man United game. He said, I want to see my players suffer like they did in the second half, having to sit and defend and sit deep. I quite like the use of that word suffer. It shows that, he knows things aren't going to be perfect all the time. But Arsenal have got to have that character and that spirit and that grit to stand up when they need to, basically, and to struggle together as a unit. They did that tonight, especially in the first half. So that's something that I like that he's added so far, standing up when it counts and when it matters. Yeah.
For me, it was the character they showed, because there's been so many times that we've seen Arsenal sides over the last few years just capitulate under that sort of pressure. They gave it back to Leeds in the second half, certainly, and it was great to see. Some of the Leeds players looked surprised that Arsenal could actually mix it with them.
Well, I tweeted this earlier. I said, if that was Unai Emery's Arsenal, for example, and they'd have come up against a Leeds side who played like tonight, they would have rolled over in that second half.
Yeah.
They would have been absolutely steamrolled. But, Arsenal in the second half stood up and said, we're going to fight here, and that's what you want to see in situations that Arsenal are in. Obviously, there's been a bit of a turnaround under Arteta in terms of the performances and the way they've played and the style or whatever. But when you're in that situation where you've been on a bad run and things aren't going your way, the fight can take you a long way. There's that saying about when talent fails to work hard, you have to work hard, basically, and they've done that. Yeah. So, real positives again tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think the grit they showed second half was far more positive than the way they were overwhelmed in the first half, even though they didn't concede a goal. Talking about Unai Emery, Marcelo Bielsa, I should say, we both had a little chat off camera beforehand, and we obviously in his press conference too, before Arteta came out. It just brought back memories of Emery, didn't it? Just the way. I mean, I'm sure he's a very, very charismatic manager, very intelligent, very articulate manager in his native tongue. But there was an interpreter there tonight, and I almost fell asleep halfway through because it wasn't very interesting, was it?
I mean,
for a man man who is allegedly so interesting.
Well, he's very highly rated. You know, a lot of people say he's one of the most influential managers of the modern age.
Yeah.
And in terms of the way Leeds play and their style and the other teams he's managed, like Marseille, Atletico Bilbao, you can see that. You can see he's a really good manager and he communicates the idea as well. But he was so tedious in that press conference.
He really was, wasn't
he? I mean, you say about the translator, and when you normally get a translator, I mean, we saw it in Emery's first season, where the translator would sit and listen to the whole answer to the question and then translate. It was literally translating one sentence. Bielsa speaks.
Yeah,
it was so tedious. And as you said, I just switched off.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like.
And he was like, "Right, thanks everybody." I was like, "Oh, back in the room."
It didn't even feel like he stopped at the right time in a sentence either. It was just like
and the use of the word tempo.
Yeah,
I get it. Stop using the word tempo.
It was completely disjointed, really. But I mean, fair play to Bielsa, fair play to Leeds. They played well, certainly first half, and he is a good manager. But that press conference was slightly painful under Bielsa. But I mean, go back to Arteta. It was really, really heartening to see the way he concluded the press conference as well to a question, and he basically said, "Look, we're building something here." What's your take on that?
It feels like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it after the game against Man United. You know, that felt like an important moment. That felt like a turning point. That felt like something's going to happen here. You know, I said it before he was appointed. I had my doubts over Arteta, but listening to the way he speaks and watching the football he wants Arsenal to play, whether that be good or bad, through their grit and determination in the bad times, it's really positive. And I think something is happening here. We've got to be patient, though. You know, he kept saying about, you know, we've all got to learn. We've got things to learn, himself included, and that is an important thing to note because this is going to take time, basically. But the early signs have been positive. I don't know whether that's a new manager bounce, but looking at it, I think it's more the things that Arteta's implemented that he wants. So I'm feeling positive about the future. But don't know how this season's going to end. Whether it'll end with a trophy in the FA Cup or the Europa League, might even make top four. You never know. But I think it is a long-term thing. We might have to wait till next season to see the full impact of what Arteta's going to bring so he can bring in players that he wants, you know, kind of implement that style a bit more. A pre-season, I think, will be really important for him as well, to have that time with the squad and say, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, basically. Yeah. So, as I say, positives to take, and I'm feeling positive.
Absolutely. And in terms of being positive, Bournemouth away in the fourth round, what's your take on that? Arteta talked about being addicted to the FA Cup and addicted to so well, wanting him to seem to be addicted.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's an okay tie.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking for something a bit easier, possibly a home tie, but, you know, Bournemouth have been struggling a bit of late. I think it'll be an important test away from home for Arteta and Arsenal. So, could have been worse, could have been better. But I completely agree with the whole love of the FA Cup thing. Aubameyang mentioned in his programme notes as well, you know, saying this club has a bit of a love affair with the FA Cup and they want to do well this season. That's right. If Arteta can win a trophy at the end of his half season, basically, massive. That'd be huge. Yeah. And a big building block.
Absolutely. Touching on Aubameyang in a minute, just talking about Bournemouth away, the last word on there. Hopefully, the rules with the FA Cup, Arsenal fans will get more than the 1,500, 1,600 tickets they've been allocated for league games. Let's hope so. Bournemouth's only around 10,000, but it'd be good to have at least a quarter of that with Arsenal. So, we'll find out about that. But talking about Aubameyang, Arteta was asked about that, wasn't he? And he was quite emphatic in his answer, wasn't he?
Well, he said that he's going to stay, and I'm glad he's going to stay. And he's been really impressed with the way he's been so far, and I completely agree. Obviously, we know his goal scoring is his best attribute, but he's been out on that left wing, and he's worked so hard. Every game I've been so impressed with the way he tracks back and he covers whoever's playing left back, whether that be Saka, Kolasinac. He's done so well in that department, and he's really become a captain, basically. He's leading by example. It's good to see Arteta basically say, he's staying.
Yeah.
I think that was more kind of about January, though. Maybe a bit concerned over the summer, but I think, Arteta could persuade him to stay. He's obviously going to be really important to his plans, both on and off the pitch as a player and as a captain. Yeah. So hopefully he does stay, basically, and Arteta seems confident that he will.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the Arsenal captain tonight, Lacazette, I'm so over VAR, I don't really care either way, it just drives me crazy. But there obviously Bielsa was asked about the alleged kick from Lacazette on, was it Gaetano, wasn't it?
Gaetano Berardi.
Yeah, and Bielsa was quite magnanimous and said, I'd rather have 11 players against 11 on the pitch. What was your take on first, whether it was a kick or not, and secondly on VAR's verdict?
I thought it was one of those that could have gone either way. I mean, there was a little bit of a kick out, but you see it all the time, I understand, maybe from a Leeds fan and their point of view, that, in that situation, you think Lacazette should be sent off, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it happened in the by the corner flag late in the second half, didn't it, with Socrates and whoever was there, tangling with him. It happens. It's football, you know.
Yeah.
As for VAR, I completely agree. I was all for it to start with. I'm just sick of it now. It's so tedious.
So over it, honestly.
It's just, don't get me started. We'll be here all night.
Absolutely. On a final word, it was great to see the grit shown by Arsenal tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The team, they could have been steamrolled, as you said, under certain games under Emery, but they showed grit and resolve and courage and character to get through. So, all good.
All good. I'm feeling positive.
Excellent. Cheers to Dan the man for coming for the press box, and for me, it's great to be back as well as Arsenal's, as Varvel's Arsenal correspondent. Obviously, Dan's there in his capacity as Isling's Gazette Arsenal reporter too. So stay tuned for our reports. They're out there and in the ether somewhere. We're going to say goodbye now. We've said what we think coming from the press conference. Let us know what you think. What do you think about Arsenal's performance tonight? What do you think about Arteta's response to it as well? What do you think about Leeds? Leeds did well, I thought, but Arsenal were good enough to get through, and they showed grit to get through. So a good night all round, really. Yeah. And as Arteta said in his press conference that me and Dan saw, we're building something. So cheers for watching, and we'll see you soon. Like, comment, share. Speak soon. Cheers.